Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week right here of Pro Wrestling Tonight. It's the Prez once again with my co-host, magnificent Dre Breeze. How you doing, Dre?
I'm doing good. Surviving this heat.
Oh my God, I know. I can't think. I can't think anymore. It's way too
Uh,
hot.
it's like being in fucking New Orleans. It's like we're in Louisiana. Like literally, we're literally like in Louisiana. I'm like, I don't want to go in the water. I'm scared there's going to be an alligator that's going to have everything else is migrated here. So why would an alligator not come up here? Like it's the only thing that's left
We're
to
gonna
come
see
here.
them one day.
For real. This heat is unbearable.
It's like almost 9 p.m. here and still super hot, super humid. Last night, same thing.
Yeah.
Horribly hot here in Montreal now. So before we get into Dynamite, let's talk a bit about the rest of the wrestling world in general here.
Yes, big news, which
Yeah.
is good in some ways and bad in some other ways. And I don't know if we should take it what way, but whatsoever. Finally, AEW has decided that they have signed the Briscoes long term. Briscoes are with
Wow.
Ring of Honor, though. Signed to Ring of Honor long term. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I guess they're not going to get a rematch for the Impact titles that they lost to the Good Brothers, or maybe they will. I mean, AEW is known to let guys work with Impact. They have no problem with that if it doesn't interfere with their live TV, which at the end of the day, I don't think it should. It hasn't
Yeah.
yet. So, if they were able to do it with Kenny Omega and the world title, I don't
There
see
you
how
go.
secondary guys, you know what I mean? So, well, that's the news. For anybody wondering
Especially if like their Ring of Honor contracts, they might be even more open to letting their Ring of Honor guys do outside work than their AEW guys.
exactly, to me, that would probably be something, especially since I don't know when Ring of Honor is going to be coming back on television as a TV show. How many guys from Ring of Honor have they actually kept technically under contract? I mean, they took Vincent back from Impact also for this pay-per-view with his guys that he was with. What's his name? There was the one guy that I really liked that used to wrestle in Coast to Coast Wrestling over in the West Coast there, Justin Bateman. So they have Bateman and this other dude, and they brought Vincent back for the pay per view. I mean, if you're looking at this pay per view, which is tomorrow night, after tomorrow night actually, or Thursday, which is Saturday night.
Yeah.
I mean, besides John Grisham, Jay Lethal, the Briscoes, Dalton
FTR.
Castle, and the boys, yeah, but FTR, they're not technically Ring of Honor
Talent. Yeah.
contracted wrestlers. I mean, no EC3, no Flip Gordon yet. I mean, we saw Silas Young, but he's not on the pay-per-view. This
Yeah, that's
pay-per-view is
weird. That's what I was going to mention. Like Silas Young, you would think he'd probably be on this pay per view,
no,
but
they'd rather push weak AEW roster guys and add them to Ring of Honor
you know what
than
I can do right
actual
now?
honor
Let's
guys.
see. I can pull a wannabe remember that I know. Pretend like I know people. This is a guy. His real name is Caleb Dewall. I actually have him on Facebook. Let's see if there's any signs that he's going. Silas
Back to
Young. See, I have him actually on. He's actually someone that I met in the wrestling world, but no sign on
yeah,
Facebook that he's going to be at the pay per view.
but see, that's what I think is weird. Like, this is where you start to question the use of this whole Ring of Honor thing. Like, it's like, because even if you look at
Agreed.
the
Agreed.
even if you look at that, like I have no problem with him buying Ring of Honor and he says he wants to make it for younger guys, a development territory, and he starts using the guys from Dark. I have no problem with that. Good. You're getting more TV time to these young kids that you obviously signed to contracts. Good. That's a great
Yeah.
idea. When you use Ring of Honor's name to bolster your fucking AEW regulars on television, already on television, and throwing him in the lineup and throwing him on the
like they
pay-per-view.
were in Ring of Honor. Like,
yeah, exactly. To me, it's in a way it's disrespectful to Ring of Honor. Like,
agreed.
like to the other guys on the fucking lineup. Like, what the fuck? Why? Besides FTR, who obviously won the titles, why are the other guys there?
Let's look at a bit the lineup here. Willow Nightingale versus Allison Kay. Okay, that's a pre-show match.
Yeah, but it's okay because they were both during the Ring of Honor right before it died. They were part of that women's.
Sure, match. Yeah. So that's fine. Mercedes Martinez versus Serena Deeb. Fine. We'll just say.
I mean, they have not enough women on the Ring of Honor roster. They didn't
at
the time.
But
so
okay. The Righteous, Vincent, Bateman, and Dutch.
See, that's what I was
talking. Dawson Castle and the boys.
Hey, so that's a legit Ring of Honor trios match. Those two trios were in Ring of Honor. That's legit roster.
You know what I realized? Every match is actually a title match.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Almost every match is a title match, yeah.
It doesn't feel like, looking at this card, it doesn't feel like at all the Ring of Honor roster that was there before. And they have some guys, like how come Roosh isn't on this card? He was on Ring of Honor. Where's Silas Young? Where's
like I said, where's Flip Gordon? You have him on TV.
Go, Flip Gordon.
Guys, why is Flip Gordon? How is EC3 not a part of this? At least for one pay-per-view, for you to write him off completely out of the company.
How is have like one surprise on this pay-per-view that'll be like, man.
Like a few guys. Where's Josh Woods?
There you go. Exactly. Like, where's the up-and-coming guys that they were?
And even, what's his name? The big black guy. Shane Taylor.
Shane Taylor Productions. Nowhere to be seen on this card.
No, these were big names in Ring of Honor that were helping carry the company. And he kind of like basically said, I'm buying Ring of Honor and 10 guys, and the rest of you have a nice day. Good night. I'll call you if I need you. That's what I got.
Like the Honor No More guys, like they legit, like, it's like a real storyline basically. They're like fuck Ring of Honor and they just don't go back.
Except for Vincent. Except for Vincent. Vincent has crossed lines and he's going back. But is it just because they're the trios champions and they're going to lose the titles tonight? Saturday, I mean, to Dalton Castle and the boys, and then he's going to go back to Impact or whatever. You know what I mean? That could be a possibility. You know what I'm saying? But that's just. But at the end of the day, that's what we're saying. The Briscoes, big ass news, man. They are legit staying with Ring of Honor. Legit staying with Ring of Honor.
How do you like Jonathan Gresham with Tully Blanchard?
I don't think it makes sense. Jonathan Gresham doesn't
at all.
Jonathan Gresham didn't need anybody, doesn't need anybody, was a good wrestler, has a great appearance coming to the ring with the fucking
more face than heel, I find.
Yeah, but see, now you're getting Tully Blanchard involved with Brian Cage. Brian Cage is another guy that he basically bought Ring of Honor. I'm going to put Samoa Joe, Brian Cage, FDR here. It's going to bring Cesaro. Claudio is going to go back now, and we're just going to have two super companies with super guys. Yeah, Daniels. Oh, Christopher Daniels is bitching too. Christopher Daniels
he'll show up.
His old school Ring of Honor. It's like, but you built a lineup with a bunch of guys from Ring of Honor that people don't even remember some of them being in Ring of Honor because
what about what Ring of Honor has become? They're like, whatever. Let's just make it like the greatest hits.
Let's make it a greatest hits. Yeah, that's it. It's like the greatest hits of Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Brought to you by
that has no staying power. That has no legs going forward.
To me, it doesn't. It doesn't even have a stable television.
What do you think? You think Claudio's going to win the belt?
If he does, Jonathan Gresham is gone from Ring of Honor.
Sadly, I agree.
If he doesn't, I think he's the only guy that Impact signs before the end of this summer. And he shows up with his wife. Because his wife is there and she's not going anywhere for the next few years. And he's been there a ton of times recently. So,
That's a good point. That's a good point. So, Jonathan Gresham, for some reason, I don't see him maybe staying long term, but he's in this Tully Blanchard faction. But, Who cares about this Tully Blanchard faction? With all due respect to Tully Blanchard.
And also, and at the end of the day, how many fucking factions do you need in AEW?
Oh my God.
Like, it's like they have so many wrestlers that now they have too many factions.
I was watching Dark because I was that bored this week. And there's some guy in Andrade's faction who has never appeared on Dark. Yeah, I mean, he's never appeared on Dynamite. He's just some like up and comer guy. I'm like, wow, this is deep. This faction shit runs deep, man.
Like, at least if you're going to be a part of a faction, be everywhere that the faction appears.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, at least once, at least introduce guy on TV.
And I should say, excluding Bullet Club, because now they're up to like 10 or 11 members. So it's understandable. And plus, they're international. They're an international faction.
They go over multiple feds. So
yeah, exactly. So it's understandable that you're not going to have 11 guys show up on Impact. 11 of them show up the week after in New Japan. And then a few of them show up also on AEW at the same time, accompanying Jay White. Like, at one point, you can't move 11 guys around the world, you know, because some of these guys are New Zealand, Australia, fucking Japan, Canada. Yeah. They got 2 Canadian. Like, like at one point, it's like, holy shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's
these
guys, there's
that's the only guys that you can't move that way. Everybody else is in the same faction, dressing in the same dressing room. When one guy goes out to television, the other 2 need to be there. Yeah, otherwise, why are they together?
Otherwise, what's the point
of being in the faction? Exactly. So, other news. Did anybody notice? Did you? What did you want to say? Something else about the Ring of Honor? I was gonna say, hey, did you guys watch everything that's been happening with the Natalia and Liv Morgan? This whole shabacle about how
so Liv Morgan like basically
is not TV
botched,
ready.
Like
It's just not TV ready to work, and it's nothing against the girl. Like, I don't have anything.
She's only been on TV for like 4 years. Now people are finally realizing this.
Yeah, but it's because they don't work her properly. You know what I'm saying? And it's apparent now that she's still green, still needs wrestling work. Like a lot of wrestling work. I'm sorry. Okay, well, let me go over one thing, in my opinion, and this isn't a knock on any girls that are short. When you're short, you're already at a disadvantage in the wrestling. You have to know how to work properly because you are fucking little and you are at a disadvantage because every hit, every kick, every move you have to make has to be done to where it has to be believable that you're able to overpower this bigger entity. Because everybody knows in a real street fight, a guy that's 6'7" that played 5 years in the NFL as a linebacker, unless you're a fucking black belt quatrième dame, you know what I mean? Like fucking Mike Bailey is in real life, you are going to get your ass handed to you. Like, and that's just
that's why in UFC or boxing, there's weight classes, right?
Yes, because you can get a lot of hits into the guy. But if a fucking 300-pound man does get his hands on you and hits you more than once in a row in your face, you are falling to the ground. Yeah. There is nobody that's going to be 180 pounds that's going to take more than 3 straight punches to the face from a 300-pound man. That's in shape. I'm not talking a fat guy. I'm talking a big, muscular dude. Sure. You know, connecting with you, you are not going to fucking wake up. And that's the problem with little girls in wrestling is that. And Alicia Edwards has had this problem her whole career being an Impact. And it's why they've never put the title on her. But she's a good worker for other things and she accepts her spot. Now you put Liv Morgan in the ring and you're like, oh, she's so cute. She's so beautiful. Little boys love her. They love her. Let's put a fucking title on her. That doesn't fucking make sense. She can't work properly. And in the match that happened on SmackDown, if you go watch the Cornette Experience, some people don't like Jim Cornette, but he fucking explains ring fucking movement to you properly. And this is what fucking frustrates Natalia, is that Natalia is not getting a title put on her. She
never gets any storylines. She never gets like WrestleMania spotlights.
And she's wrestling this little fucking given to their, like, I'm not saying she doesn't work.
Her here. It's like, there's some dangerous spots done here by Liv Morgan. I find it very surprising. Okay, her saying that she's not TV ready. She's been in the WWE system for 8 years.
I'm telling you.
signed for 8 years. She's been on WWE programming. She debuted with the Riot Squad on SmackDown in 2017.
You know what I'm saying?
She's been on like main roster for like 5 years, and people are like now like, fuck, maybe like she's not that good. Like,
no, but that's the thing, and it's not to diss her work ethic. She's probably working super hard, but it's like you can take 15 fucking exams for your driver's test. If you're not able to execute it properly, don't give a shit if you've been here 10 times executing your driver's test. You're not getting your driver's permit.
yeah,
Somewhere she does not pass as a wrestler, and she's been given a pass. I'm not saying she isn't working hard. She's working hard. She doesn't have it down, and they gave her a pass. Now, is it because she's attractive? Probably. I see no other reason why. She doesn't have a compelling character here. Besides the fact that she's a very attractive girl and people love to cheer for her fucking ass when she comes out, she's been given a pass.
You know, it's like there was that, the women's, like when they, I guess they call it the women's revolution or whatever it's called in WWE, when the women started doing main events and whatnot, and you had like Charlotte, Becky, Asuka,
Bianca Belair and
Bayley.
Rhea Ripley. Yeah, you know, Bayley.
So like, say those 5, okay? They started out, and like it felt like, wow, like the women are getting better. But then like I think people like automatically started giving the other women that came in like they must be good because like the women are all better now. Like look at like what some of these women have done, but like some of them are not like up to par at all. Like indeed, Liv Morgan, she should be on the Indies. She should be on Ring of Honor or something.
No, because at the end of the day, the WWE lost a lot of good, talented women's wrestler over the last 2-3 years. A lot of them have left the company, completely walked away from it, and they cut some. Like I'm talking Mickie James, Taya Valkyrie, just to name a few veteran girls that could work on television and not make these mistakes and not look bad like this. And you decided that maybe Taya Valkyrie was a little too chubby.
We're gonna go all in on this Liv Morgan girl.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, maybe she doesn't have the look that I like. Mickie James, you know, we're tired of seeing Mickie James. Let's give her a fucking trash bag and say bye, Mickie. And then we're gonna push the little ones. These ones that
remembered. Do you remember Liv Morgan being in the storyline, being in love with Lana or something?
Yes, for a while, like a
that was like 3 years ago. They're like, we got a big storyline in mind for this one. That was 3 years ago. Obviously, she couldn't, like, I don't know.
Even Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is good at promos and she's a good actress. Wrestling wise, she's a C+ at tops.
For a while, they stopped making her wrestle. Yeah. No,
you know what I'm saying? She's a C+
really small,
at best in the fucking ring. You know why? Again,
no, there's like a big...
Too fucking little.
Yeah, and there's a big, like, gap between the top women. Like, the top women in WWE are almost, like, definitely the top women's wrestlers in the world, I would say, with a couple exceptions. But then...
with about 5 or 6 other girls, they are the top. They are the fucking top, like, you know.
Then there's, like, a big drop, like, even in their own system. And then you get, like, the other feds as well. But the other feds, like, their top women are better than, like, the mid-card women.
And I mean, think of it. They drop.
You know?
Yeah. And think of it. They even dropped Tegan Nox. They cut Tegan Nox. They cut...
Tony Storm.
Tony Storm. Like, dude, like Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah. Ty Conti.
Ty Conti, like they cut girls that wrestle and okay.
I don't know if they cut Io Shirai or is she still on NXT? If she's still on NXT, that makes no sense.
She left. She went back to Japan. She's in Japan.
She was so good, but they just kept fucking around with her.
But she hated it there.
I bet they just kept fucking around with her. And
wait, was she the one that was partner with Asuka?
No, that was the pirate one. She was on, Io Shirai was on NXT. She was like, she had an all black suit at one point.
I think she left too. She left too. I know the one that was partners with Asuka was extremely depressed.
She was super really good too.
And she was one of the best. No, and she wanted to leave. She was like, I fucking hate this place. I can't stand it here. A lot of people turn sour backstage over there, like the way that it is, because once again, like I said, they're all working. And then there's the ones that really do have the tools that it takes. And then there's the ones that work hard but don't have the tools. But for some reason in WWE, it's not about working hard and having tools. It's about working hard and knowing the right person or having the right writer that has, I would say, an infatuation with you.
Yeah, like, oh, we have a storyline in mind for you. Doesn't matter that 4 years ago, Liv Morgan had like the biggest storyline going on the show with that lesbian distasteful storyline they did with Lana. That was like 4 years ago. And we're saying now, 4 years from then, she can't work. So that just tells you that they're like, it's not has anything to do with who's the best wrestler. It's backwards. It's backwards. It's
backwards in that world. It's really backwards. It's a backwards company.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but on to bigger and better things. Yeah. On to Dynamite.
Yeah, let's get on to our Dynamite review for this week. Show started out hot with a kind of like a little grudge match that they built up over the couple weeks. Darby Allin against Brody King, which I think that's pretty interesting.
It is. It was a good match, but see, two workers that can work, two dudes from different styles, different sizes, but that worked well together. Why? Because they talk, they communicate, and they have the game of wrestling down enough that it's not dangerous for the other guy, even though they're two opposite.
Made it logical that, like, okay, Darby's so much smaller. He got thrown around a lot, but he was able to, like, you know, be agile and
well, with Darby, it's easy. Darby's a stunt. And Darby probably told he probably told Brody King, listen, bro, throw me around.
Yeah.
You know, just be careful there, but throw me the fuck around. It's all good. And so Brody did what he did. He threw him down. At one time, he really threw him, and I was like, oh, fuck, that had to hurt. When he threw him up against the cords, the ropes, I was like, dude, people have died hitting those ropes like the wrong way. That's a steel cable. You know what I mean? Like, he could fucking break his neck throwing him straight into the cables like that. You know what I mean? Like,
unfortunately,
one of the throws was kind of worrying. I was like, Jesus, man. Ow. He really is. You know? He really is. But what a fucking match, man. And holy fuck, Brody King won. I was like, if
Brody
they
King pulls off the win. Very
if
very
they make
cool Darby, that they're building him up. And he's not like the leader of the faction. It's not like he's just like a disciple of Aleister Black. He's actually doing stuff on his own, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And like I said a couple weeks ago, man, you have a gold mine in terms of heels with the House of Black as a concept.
Yeah.
You can't have them be clean losing on TV all the time. You have to have them lose by disqualification because they lose it or they're beating people or they cheat.
Do something messed up, really crazy.
Yeah, like these dudes are huge, mean. Like, how are you making them lose? And of course, I don't know if they are watching our TV show, but they are listening to shit that we're saying. They're adjusting. Yeah. And they're well adjusted.
They're actually doing it.
Man, this whole thing was pretty good. The whole fucking thing was
at the end, so Sting and Aleister, they're like staring each other off. They get into actually physicality. And then Miro comes out.
It ruins everything.
It's like, what? It felt
the
really
Redeemer. I'm the Redeemer. And he talks to the fucking wind and the air or his God or his angels or whatever the fuck he's talking to. And it's just
Miro is just feels out of place in general in these shows so far.
Exactly. And I don't see him, like, they're kind of making it like, oh, he's going to join the House of Black. which is the only logical thing if you're putting him in a storyline. It's not joining Sting and Darby Allin, the
No.
logical thing. But man, Pac is who should be in the House of Black with these guys. Not
Pretty
fucking
much.
the Redeemer. Not the goddamn Redeemer.
I'm pretty sure Buddy Murphy's injured. Who
Yeah,
was
I
their
think he is.
third member?
Yes.
And then
Yeah, we haven't for a
they
while,
have
yeah.
Julia Hart as a girl. But yeah, they could
Yeah.
like, as much as like I don't say that I don't need, like, people don't need to really be joining that much more factions, but they could use another guy like in this faction.
Yeah, they could. No, but I mean, because it's a house.
Yeah, they're only like two guys with a girl who never wrestles at this point.
You know, 3 guys with a girl. It's not a house.
Yeah.
A house, man. A house has 7 members, 8.
Yeah,
you know
they
what I'm
could
saying?
stand
Like,
to have. Why don't they just like
absorb the
like-
Dark Order?
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Or absorb whoever's worth absorbing in the Dark Order. Not
Yeah.
even. The guys in the Dark Order aren't even Dark Order. They're just a bunch of lightweights, except for number 10. Like, they're just little guys. Like, there's nobody in the Dark Order. Well, I mean, Uno, but no. He's destroyed his evilness. Like, he's about as evil as Danhausen is actually evil. You know what I'm saying? So,
And we haven't seen like much character development with them. So no, like the Dark Order guys, unfortunately, it's like they've gone down a dead end. They're trying to revive Silver and Johnny.
And Reynolds. Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, well, we'll talk more about them because they're actually on the show later. Then we get Cole Carter promo interrupted by Starks. So Cole Carter's this new guy who's gonna fight Ricky Starks.
I love Starks, man. Like, Starks should be on every episode. Ricky Starks should be on Dynamite and Rampage every week, every episode.
He's one of their better characters for sure.
He to me was a steal in a pickup. When they picked up a bunch of guys from other companies, MJF and him were 2 highway robberies that they got from smaller companies.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, for, you know, so yeah, Starks is the man.
Yeah, Starks was great in NWA, but he's been great, and it would be good to see him get like maybe a TNT title shot or something. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
So then we get Best Friends with Orange Cassidy taking on Moxley and Wheeler Yuta. It was a good match, I found.
It was
pretty violent.
It was some hardcore. It was a lot of strong style, I would say, especially between Moxley and Beretta. Beretta, wrestling in Japan for years, he wanted to show that he could go with the Blackpool Fight Club in terms of hitting and hard wrestling, and he did. Man, this is probably the best match I've seen the Best Friends, being Trent Beretta and Fuck Taylor wrestling together. Like, like, this is probably the best match I've seen them have. Like, them two as a duo. So.
I liked the interaction between Beretta and Yuta. They were really going pretty stiff in there, pretty hard hitting. It was pretty good mix. Did you notice? This is a bit off topic. It's not necessarily related to this match, but there was a lot of Jim Cornette reference signs in the crowd in this episode.
I did.
Yeah, which was noticed hilarious.
It. And I was like, he must be opening a can of Sprite right now with a giant smile on his face.
Yeah. No, so that was pretty good. Moxley and Yuta pick up the win, though. Yeah,
Moxley and Yuta pick up the win, which I don't know if there's going to be dissension in the Best Friends at one point, but this is not looking good for this faction at all, man.
But like, at this point, who's Moxley like gonna defend the title against next? Who do you think? Because right now he's just having these random tag matches. Like, this isn't going anywhere for his belt. I wouldn't,
I mean, I have no idea, to tell you the truth. Right now, they have very little single superstar power of world title status, unless, like I said, they wanted Aleister Black to step up and attack Moxley, throw spray in his face. Like, he's somebody who's size-wise.
You haven't have a guy like step up
intimidating.
Like that in a while.
You know, like intimidating wise, you know what I'm saying? That could be a heel that you could be like, okay, yeah, this guy is a legit heel that could go for a world title. I
That
mean,
would be interesting.
there's nobody. Lance Archer, they wrote him off into the sunset.
Or
I
they'll
mean,
just
the
have him come
Jericho,
back for another title shot, lose, and then just leave. Come back,
you
only do
know,
title shots, leave. Never win them.
exactly. You know, I don't see who in their roster. I mean, I would say Samoa Joe, but he has a title already. He's occupied. He's probably the most physically dominating, hard hitting wrestler that they have on the roster right now.
That would be interesting to see, though. I would like to see that. Samoa Joe against Moxley for the title.
I would like to see it too because it's a match that's never happened.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Across all the federations that there is, I don't think there has ever been a Jon Moxley versus Samoa Joe match.
Yeah, that's what they need to do more. And less like that Jake Hager Claudio match from last week.
Exactly. Less things that we've seen, and maybe just rolling the dice and saying, okay, like this is how have Brody King come out and destroy Moxley. Like that's what I would do. Have him come out and really hurt him. Like what he did to Darby Allin.
Take him out.
What he did to Darby Allin, have him do it to Jon Moxley. Like make him hang him over a guardrail where the people are.
Yeah,
you know,
that would be good.
In a chokehold. Do something insane like that. You know, make people be like, oh, fuck, Moxley's going to come back. He's going to be so pissed. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something. Surprise me. Because right now, they're not surprised.
No, that's the thing. Right now, well, this was kind of like a weird episode because it's building to this Ring of Honor pay-per-view. But this Ring of Honor pay-per-view is only going to have like a select people from the roster on it. So
exactly.
That was kind of weird. And even out of this, like the Forbidden Door build was kind of weird on TV. The pay-per-view was good, I'll say, but this kind of felt the same.
It's the thing is it kills the dynamic of the television.
Yeah, there you go, exactly.
It really is an amazing idea for a pay-per-view. The only way you can do it properly is if you do that pay-per-view months ahead of time. You start making guys invade left and right and stuff like for example,
like really plan it out.
They really wanted to do an invasion. Say they really wanted to make like a company that has a lot of wrestlers would be probably Impact because they have like 40 people on their roster. You want to make them invade your company. Then you want them to terrorize your guys for more than a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. 5 weeks on every show, on Friday, on Wednesday, on dark, on whenever. Beat the shit out of them. Attack them in the back. Attack them in the parking lot. Fucking nowadays with cameras, attack them in their own house. Attack them at the airport when they're going to an indie fucking match. Prove a point. The domination, like, you know what I'm saying?
That would be cool.
Then do a pay-per-view. Don't fucking say there's a pay-per-view August 1st. 3 weeks from now, all of a sudden they're here. Oh, and he's here. Oh, and he's here. And then all your other TV fucking stories are all unclosed. Everything's mixed up. One guy's gone here. You're becoming WWE. Yeah. You're changing your pants. You know what I mean? You're changing shit. It's just everywhere. And that's why this show was a good show, but yet it was just like
there was some things that was just like cool, whatever. It didn't feel that like urgent, that really important. So we're running out of time here for part 1. So we'll stop it off here and we'll be back with part 2. So stick around and log into part 2.